Hey there, writers. This is not the video that I was planning to film today, but I'm having a bit of a day, and this is not a pity party, okay? It's very important that we realize that this is not a pity party, but I kind of wanted to come on and have a little bit of a whinge and make it clear to people that doing writing challenges, I'm in the middle of NanoWrimo, or nearly at the end of NanoWrimo at the moment, is really not easy, and sometimes there are really hard days. It's just started raining on me as well, which honestly is just fitting for the day that I'm having. But I've come out here for a little bit of quiet. It's going to stop raining in a minute. I got a new mug yesterday. It's nutcrackers. I'm a little bit obsessed with nutcrackers at Christmas just because they're so sinister and a little bit scary, and I kind of love them. Anyway, so I have my cup of tea, and yeah, gonna have a little bit of a whinge. So this isn't actually about writing in particular itself. So it's nearly at the end of this year's NanoWrimo. I have been taking part in the challenge, as in writing a first draft of a new book, at least 50,000 words during the month of November. It's going to be the first in a series of romances set in a Welsh seaside town, and that is actually going okay. I passed the 50,000 word mark. I think I'm at about 51,000 now. But I want to have finished the draft by Saturday, which is the last day of November. So I still have quite a bit more to go over the next few days. It is now, what are we? It's now 2:30 in the afternoon, and I haven't been able to do any writing today. And that's kind of what I'm getting to in a very roundabout kind of way. Yeah, so for example, today I got up late because I've been going to bed late, and it's cold and it's dark, and I'm not wanting to get up. Then various things just kind of kept me from being able to start work. The kids needed stuff, the dogs needed stuff. I needed to take the dogs out for a walk. I got rained on the walk, like nothing terrible, but just things getting in the way. I needed to make an appointment, and that kind of took way longer than it needed to. All these things just kind of got in the way, and so the two things that were kind of urgent that I needed to do today was to make that appointment. So I did that, and then I went to go to edit my video, which is what this video should have been. And I got it up to edit, and there was something wrong with the sound. There were like staticky bits kind of all the way through it. So I've had to scrap that video. And I was really proud of myself because I filmed it yesterday. I made time to film it yesterday, and all I needed to do was basically like chop off the beginning and the end, and it was good to go. And so now I need to refilm that. So I decided to film this instead, or at least before I do that, because this is what I felt like doing. Anyway, so yeah, so now I'm doing this instead of writing. So everything is kind of getting in the way of writing. And tomorrow I need to go out for a few hours. Again, I won't be able to write. And then I kind of feel guilty because I'm prioritizing writing. So I don't normally prioritize my writing to this extent. It is my work, and so it is important, and I do need to get it done, but I don't normally write anywhere near the amount that I am writing this month. And that's kind of why this month is so good for me, because it gets a book written. Basically, a really strong first draft is sorted, and then in January I will go through and I will do the second draft, and it works really well for me. But I do have this enormous feeling of guilt of prioritizing my writing over especially family things. And I love doing family things. I love spending time with my family, and that has always been my priority, and I've always been very certain of that. And it's never normally a problem. It's a decision that I made when my eldest child was born, and my career, if you like, was never at the forefront. And that was a decision that I made. It's really, really important that I think that I say that, everybody, every woman should do exactly what they feel is right for them and for their lives. And that is what was right for me and for my life at the time, and still is. And so it just feels very peculiar not to be prioritizing that as much. Like last night, I felt guilty because I hadn't done any baking, because I normally do a lot of baking for my kids. While I was cooking dinner, I was frantically trying to make a cake as well, which sounds really, really silly. It doesn't matter, but I feel bad about it when I don't think that I'm doing what I consider to be what I like to do as a mum. In particular, if they want me to do something with them, whether it be something to do with their lessons, or if it's just that they want to play a board game with me or watch a film, I want to be available to do that. And I want to be able to say, okay, not all the time. I can't always just drop everything. I do work as a writer, I do work as an editor, but in general, I'm able to work things so that, for example, if one of them says, can we play a board game this evening? I'm able to do it. And it just doesn't sit right for me not to be able to do that. The other evening, we needed to do an emergency drop-off to our eldest at university, and I couldn't go because I hadn't done my words for the day. And I really wanted to be part of that. I wanted to be going to see him, give him a hug, maybe have a cup of tea with him and a chat. And I couldn't because I hadn't done my words. And so as happy as I am that I am going to be finished writing this first draft, and that's absolutely amazing, in 30 days. I'm glad that I've done it. I'm also going to be incredibly happy when this month is over, especially because it's December with all the run up to Christmas and everything. I'm desperate to get started with that and to think about presents and decorating and everything. So I'm really, really, really going to be happy when this challenge is over, not just because I'm a little bit fed up of needing to write 2,000 words a day, which is what I have been attempting, but just so that I no longer have to prioritize writing to this extent, and I can go back to how I'm happiest being, with family very much first and work, way, way below. It needs to be done, but by no means priorities. So basically what I'm trying to get at is that writing challenges can be hard, not just because of the actual writing involved in them, but also the fact that it takes over your life a little bit. And thank goodness it's only for a month, really, because I definitely couldn't do this kind of every other month or anything like that. It's just absolutely not for me. I will continue to do a kind of NanoWrimo-esque thing every year, I think, but every year just really, really glad when it's finished and when I can get back to normal life, even though it's also wonderful to be absorbed in my writing. I do love writing, and this method of writing the first draft over such a short period does mean that I'm very engrossed in my story. I know the characters really well. I don't really have to, pick it up particularly when I go back to it, because, it was only the night before that I was writing on it, so I can carry on writing. And so I think it will flow better, which is what I found previous years that I've done Nano. And I enjoy the time that I'm actually writing when it's going well. It's just, I'm so glad when this month is over. I'd love to know if anybody else feels this way, if you have similar troubles, even if it's not so much that you feel that you're missing out on things with family or with friends, but just that maybe your writing is kind of a side hustle, and you feel that during a big writing challenge, it takes away from how you're performing in your regular work or something like that. I'd just be really interested to know if anybody else feels the same way that I do about it, and if you will also be as glad as I will be when November is over. So in my next video, I will not be writing like crazy anymore, and hopefully I will be a little bit calmer because, yeah, I have not been the chillest of people today, it has to be said. And if anything else goes wrong today, then I will probably just take to my bed like a Victorian heroine. That is the plan. Hopefully that won't happen, and I will catch you in the next one.